I'm back.
All your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
Yo, what's up, We Book It fam? This is your boy Big Daddy C coming back at you with another episode of the Raw Dogg Monday show. We're recapping all things related to this week's episode of Monday Night Raw. So basically, opening up the show, we had a recap of Saturday night's main event, which took place this past Saturday in Madison Square Garden. Next up, we had a opening promo segment. Let's see here. Actually, no, we had our first match of the night. We had Division versus Javon Evans and Dragon Lee. So basically, it's Austin Theory and Braun Breaker taking on Dragon Lee and Javon Evans. Logan Paul and Maxine Dupree accompanied Breaker and Theory out for this match. Evans and Lee didn't even allow them to get into the ring before hitting them with a couple of high-flying moves to kick things off. Lee and Theory started off as the legal men of the match. He had some strikes in the corner from Theory. Dragon Lee responded with a Hurricane Rana before he tagged in Evans for a double team. Breaker got the tag and started assert his dominance, so Evans tagged Lee back in. Dragon Lee was distracted by Logan Paul on the apron, which allowed Braun Breaker enough time to recover. He called Dragon Lee flying off the top rope and slammed him. We go into commercial break. We return to see Dragon Lee beginning to make a comeback. He sent Theory out of the ring and crawled into the corner to tag in Javon. Javon took it to Theory with a series of moves that led to a stunner. He took out Austin Theory with at ringside with a big dive over the top rope, and then he avoided a spear from Braun Breaker that led to Braun going over the barricade. Javon took him out with a dive over the barricade before going back into the ring and hitting a springboard clothesline for a 2 count. Dragon Lee tagged in and almost lost the match after Theory and Breaker took him down. Javon saved Dragon Lee, but Theory and Breaker were in control. Eventually, Braun Breaker drilled them with a spear for the win. Post-match, Otis and Akira Tozawa came out to stop a post-match attack from the Vision. Maxine watched as Otis and Tozawa took out the Vision. She eventually slapped Otis in the face, but fired him up. He took out both members of the Vision with ease. Then Otis was preparing to powerbomb Theory through the announce table, but Braun Breaker saved him with a spear. Theory and Breaker ended the fight with a brutal spear to Otis. Next up, we had highlights shown with Tom Brady slapping Logan Paul. Oh God, I really hope this does not lead to a match between the two. I really don't want to see this shit. Tom Brady needs to sit his ass the fuck down. And anybody know me knows I love Tom Brady. He is my all-time favorite player. I don't want to see him in the ring. I don't want to see him involved in wrestling. Like, I don't want to see him taking bumps. I'm like, dude, you're a quarterback. You're not Gronk. You're not any of these guys that used to play defense or offensive line or, tight end, whatever it is. Like, you play quarterback. You are not designed to be out here imposing physicality on someone. Like, it's the opposite way around. And I do not want to see you in the ring dealing, especially with Logan Paul of all people. Like, Tom Brady, sit your ass down. Get ready for the upcoming NFL season. So you can be in the booth calling these games. All right. Fox ain't out here paying you to be out here taking bumps for WWE. They paying you to call games. So I ain't trying to see your ass in the ring. Sit your ass down, Tom. But next up, we had a segment with Danhausen being shown backstage. Hemmed up by the Judgment Day. They asking for their money back. He promised to go find the money and he ran away. Then there was a video that aired hyping up the return of Big Cass. So Big Cass will be returning on August 3rd, which happens to be the birthday of our own Virgil and Birdman. So yeah, that'll be a good day. But yeah, next up we had Danhausen coming out after a commercial break, holding the briefcase with, the supposed money that was being asked of by the Judgment Day. And he said he's sick of the Judgment Day causing problems and he doesn't want them to give their money back. He doesn't want them to give their money back. Let me see. We got a comment here. Hello there, Isaiah Bird. Appreciate you tuning in. And how the hell do I get out of this? Okay. All right. So yeah, he said he was sick of the Judgment Day causing problems and he doesn't want to give them their money back. He was about to give it away to the crowd when Dirty Dom, Liv, and JD came out there. They attacked him after he cursed him again, and that's when Hendry came out there to make the save. Hendry was successful making a save, but the Judgment Day made off with the briefcase. They got backstage and they realized the money was fake. It was basically fake money with Danhausen's face on it. So JD threw the bag and accidentally hit Oba Femi. Oba Femi was not too pleased, and Adam Pearce essentially booked Oba Femi versus JD McDonough, for the match like right now. And then he also booked Dom versus Joe Hendry for later. So fast forward to the match, Oba Femi made his way to the ring before the commercial break. We came back. JD didn't want to get in the ring, so Danhausen and Joe Hendry came out there and threw him and Dom into the ring. Oba basically clotheslined both of their ass and threw Dom out of the ring before focusing on JD. Launched JD McDonough, into the ropes before hitting a series of running uppercuts. Threw JD across the ring before hitting the fall from grace for an easy win. Next up, we had a impromptu promo from Solo Sikoa. Came out of the crowd when the show came back from commercial. Basically got into the ring with a mic and said he had a proposition to make before calling out Seth Rollins. And basically he said, Rollins came out there, quickly. He asked if Solo was there to fight or talk. Solo said he was just here to talk. He reminded himself that when he faces Roman Reigns, he has to deal with the whole bloodline. And he knows this because he was once a part of the bloodline. And so he offered Seth Rollins, chance of basically, he said, I'll watch it back at SummerSlam. Seth was like, he wanted to think about it. And then, Jacob was like, not Jacob, Solo was like, what is that to think about? And so he had grabbed Seth Rollins and basically while they going at each other, Jacob Fatu comes out there heading to the ring. Solo Sikoa took off, but Rollins remained in the ring. As soon as Fatu turned around, Seth Rollins nailed him with a super kick to the face and walked away. Then this led into our next match, Rusev and Ethan Page making their way to the ring for a tag team match against Penta and Chad Gable. The next match, pretty much, so as we all know, Gable and Penta, they're set to fight each other for the IC title at SummerSlam. As soon as the bell rang, Rusev and Page went on an attack. They double teamed Penta for a little bit before he was able to make the tag to a fresh Chad Gable. Rusev took out Penta on one side of the ring while Page and Gable fought on the other side. We go into another commercial break, and then we return to see Rusev controlling the pace against Penta, but Penta began to make a rally. He hit the crossbody that gave him enough time to make a tag. Gable and Page both came in, and the former Olympian and Chad started hitting suplexes on both opponents. He did get a 2 count with an angle slam before setting up a moonsault. Even Page avoided it and tagged in Rusev. They both took Gable down, but Penta saved them by kicking Rusev in the face to break up the pin. Rusev put Gable in the accolade, but he was able to fight out of the hold and imply an ankle lock. as this is going on, Paige looked like Paige is going to make the save, but Penta took out Paige with the Mexican Destroyer while Rusev tapped out. So Chad Gable and Penta are the victors. So after the match, Rollins ran into Jacob Fatu backstage and dared him to take a shot, but he also taunted him, knowing that Reigns told him not to go after him. But then Fatu basically told him, like, hey, it's all good. Like, you got a cheap shot up on me, but it ain't gonna happen again. He's like, if there's anything left of you after SummerSlam, just know I'm gonna beat your ass. And so, so Rollins was like, all right, I'm gonna be waiting for you. And then we had a hype video after that, basically for Femi and Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam, which is followed by another hype video hyping up the actual event itself, which is followed by another video hyping up Rollins versus Reigns. And then these goes into our next match. We got Dirty Dom making his way to the ring before the break against his match for his match against Joe Hendry. The match got started after the commercial break. Dom went straight out to Hendry, stomped him down in the corner. Hendry recovered. Pretty much did the same thing to Dom. Liv Morgan was cheering on Dom, as of course, from ringside, as Joe Hendry hit a delayed vertical suplex. Dom attempted a suicide dive, but was caught and dropped on the announce table. Morgan drove Hendry into the ring post while the ref was distracted, which led to Danhausen coming out. Liv did slap Danhausen or punched him or whatever to send him retreating up the ramp. And we go into another commercial break. We return from the commercial break to see Dom in control for a few moments before Joe Hendry started to build some momentum. He did hit a big discus clothesline for a 2 count. Liv Morgan continues to interfere again, which allowed Dom to recover. But Danhausen made his way back to the ring again, this time with his little car and accompanied by Io Sky, who will be facing Liv Morgan at SummerSlam for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. She ran down and attacked Liv Morgan. She hit a springboard drop kick in the ring and a crossbody from the apron. Danhausen took this opportunity to hit Dom with his finisher, his little DDT, while the ref was not looking, and this allowed Joe Hendry to get the pin and the win. Next up, we had a segment with LA Knight coming into the ring and gave a promo about his 6-man tag match at SummerSlam against the Bloodline. LA Knight did have some issues with Solo trying to help out Seth Rollins because he also has issues with the Visionary as well. And so after the promo, LA Knight stuck around so he could fight Fatu in the main event. This match was already in progress when we came back from commercial break. LA Knight had the upper hand. He hit a running clothesline to take Fatu down. Fatu popped right back up on his feet and started trading shots with LA Knight. Knight started to go after Fatu's leg to keep him grounded. Fatu sent LA out of the ring, hit a suicide dive to take him down. Knight started to fight back, but he made the mistake of thinking he could go after Fatu's head. Fatu no-sold the head, being slammed into the announce table a few times, and Knight used the steel steps instead. Commercial break again. We come back from commercial break to see Knight trying to fight back, but Fatu overpowered him and put him into the corner. Knight avoided a running splash and hit a net breaker for a 2 count. Fatu climbed up to the top turnbuckle, and Knight climbed up with him once. Once he got back to his feet, Knight hit a superplex before Jimmy Uso came out there to watch. Then Solo Sikoa showed up in the crowd and attacked Jimmy Uso. And then Fatu prevented Solo from hitting the Samoan spike. And then as this is going on, Knight hit the BFT, but Big Jim distracted the ref so he couldn't count. This allowed Royce Keys to come out there and attack Jimmy Uso out of nowhere and threw him over the announce table, which led to Jey Uso making his return and coming out of the crowd. He had a few super kicks on Royce Keys to take out the powerhouse. Before LA Knight would wipe him out with a kick through the ropes. When he came back to the ring, Fatu hit a Samoan drop followed by a moonsault for the win. Jacob Fatu beats LA Knight. Post-match, we had Sikoa going out to Fatu but the Usos took him out. Keys laid out both men with a clothesline before squaring off with Fatu and hit him with a spine buster, which was pretty smooth if you ask me. And then the Usos hit the 1D on Royce Keys while Fatu put LA Knight in the tongue and death grip. And the show ended with the Bloodline standing tall over Keys, Knight, and Solo Sikoa. And so, yeah, this was an action-packed night. It was some low moments, early on, but, for the most part, it was pretty much a Rollins and Bloodline heavy type of night, which is going to give you, some good ratings, some good TV for the most part. So I did think this night was pretty solid. Next week is going to be even crazy because it's the go home show. Everybody is going to be confrontations the whole night for all the feuds. So definitely stay tuned for that. I will be going live after that, after Monday Night Raw is over. Hopefully get somebody to join me, from the We Book It podcast and get a 2 or 3 man show going on next Monday night. So we'll see. But yeah, so this has been this week's episode of the Raw Dogg Monday show. Big Daddy C signing out. Catch y'all next week. Peace.